Hey guys, it's Joe B, and I'm here with the Mach 1 on a Saturday with a general update about how things have been going. I sprayed the TAMCO 5310 in several periods of spraying, maybe 3 or 4 times of loading up the gun and getting stuff done. The first things that I did were all the fenders. So I did the passenger and driver's fenders. I pulled the doors off. I did those, cowl, vent, and end caps, and fender extenders, and deck lid. All those pieces have been removed and painted with the primer separately. Then I pulled the car out, prepped it, sprayed it, tacked it, body filler and everything, of course, correctly. And then I sprayed the actual body. I actually did it in 2 parts. The first time I did the jams and a little bit extra, and then the second time I went over and I did the actual roof and the quarter panels and the body. And at that point I also spotted some pieces that I had missed earlier. There were a couple places where I actually had run the primer. Right here I had run it, there were a couple little runs right here, so I sanded those down and then I went over it again. There are some little imperfections. You can see right here, right here. I'm either going to go back over those and spray them to fill them, or a lot of it is going to sand out. Nothing has been sanded yet. So this is just after the primer has sprayed and dried. There were some spots that needed attention down here where I had to go back over it with a little filler to clean it up. So I'll have to spray a little primer over that in order to spot it after I fix it. Only the top of the hood is done right now. Once I've fully prepped the top of the hood, I'm going to remove it, flip it over, and then use the wire wheel in order to clean it, and then I'll have to spray the bottom. There are places that I can see that need more attention right here, and if you look close you'll see the old base is right under this, so it's not level. You can't spray over that, it's not ready yet. But the hood has not been sanded either yet, so a lot of this is going to sand out, and as long as I look at it under the correct angles in the sun, shouldn't have a problem finding and correcting all of that. There was a spot where I had worked some filler over here and they came out really nice. This corner still needs to be corrected and filled. I'm trying not to be too much of a perfectionist because I don't want to completely freeze myself with doing the work, but I also want to make sure that I do a really good job, or as good of a job as I could do. And the relocation of the hole over here turned out pretty well. Let's see, what's going on? There it is. So it's a little rough on this side, but the twist lock fits in and the silver rim comes around here, so again I didn't want to be too much of a perfectionist with trying to make the hole look perfect. The other hole was already kind of wacky looking as far as the circle goes. Little pieces that have been done or need to be done. The Fender extensions are done here. Here's the solid product right here, the TAMCO 5310. That's what's on the car. And I was just mixing it up 4-to-1 with 10%, sprayed it out of a 1.8 gun, and it laid on pretty well. As long as I didn't try to let it sit too long in the cup, just get it on there. I ended up doing the insides of the doors with the TAMCO as well. I cleaned them up, wax and grease remover, and I didn't do any filler or anything. There's just going to be a panel on top of here. So again, I'm trying not to be a perfectionist about places that even the factory didn't spend too much time on. The fenders are all TAMCO'd up. There we go. And I've got a couple little miscellaneous pieces that are, the valence, the front and rear. This is the scoop. It had a chip, so I know it's kind of taboo, but I had worked it up a little bit with the filler. Of course I'm going to use the DA to sand this and shape it, and then by hand I'll do a little bit. But the chip, it was only missing maybe ½ an inch at most of the piece that is correct on this side. So this thing is about $150, and I was like, well, I'll give it a shot, see if I can fix it. And it's looking pretty good so far. So I'm going to have to go at least one more session with the 5310, which I do not have a lot left of. I think I've only got enough left to fill the cup maybe once, 1.5 more times. And that will be to finish the bottom of the hood, touch up any places in the car that need another spot. I'm going to sand and fix runs like these that you see here, and then if I need to, I'll spot that too. The piece where I did the aluminum welding, that turned out really well. I finished the aluminum welding, I filled it with some skim, and I know this is a little rough right here, but again, it's another spot that you don't see, that this chrome bumper actually fits over this, so you won't see that. The aluminum, I left it all full on the back because I thought it would be stronger on as the metal reinforcement, so I didn't touch that. It just adds to the personality. Oh look, see, there's a spot that I missed with the 5310, so I've got to cover anything that I've missed in the final rundown. And I think I do still need to do the, you can probably see it better than I can under here, but I think I do still need to do the front. I need to prep, wax and grease remove, and then fill and correct and then prime the outside of that door. But that's it. That door, that scoop, the underside of the hood, and then any parts that need to be spotted. And then we'll be ready for base, which I have ordered the base. It's on the way. It is called Voodoo Blue and is from the Toyota FJ Cruiser. It is very close to the Grabber Blue. I did not go with the actual Ford I think it's CI paint. It was a little too light for me. So as you can see, this is the original blue color here. The color is a little too light. I'm not really impressed by it, but I wanted to maintain as much originality with the color as I could without getting too crazy. So actually the color I got is the color of that recycle can right there. So you can see the difference. The FJ Cruiser is darker by a couple shades, but enough to make it really attractive. So that's where we're at here with the Mach 1, and that's the update. Today I will be working on the underside of the hood and sanding and filling and spotting anything that needs attention, and the paint is on the way. As soon as it gets here, we're going to start spraying some base. This is Joe B, and I'll see you later.